to keep it moving along. So with that said, I'll introduce Marilyn. You can kick us off, I guess.
Well, I'm saying welcome to everyone too, and lots of new people, and the foundation students are amazing. And we have 2 or 3 others that are new today. So keep coming and spread the word. Thank you.
First up is a member from our Crime Analyst Department, Emily Block.
Everybody, the crime analyst here at 43 Million. I'm responsible for keeping the superintendent and our office updated with what's going on statistically and trends and patterns within our division. So we'll do a quick presentation in January. Our first slide up here, this is a map of our division. It's a community map that shows different communities in our division. It shows who represents them on the CPLC. There are a lot of new faces in here. We're also looking for new representatives to join, the more the merrier. So if anyone's interested in that, we should pursue that. Will be a traffic slide. On this slide here shows the collision division in the month of January. The dots are a specific type of collision, and that it has heat overlay to show where the main concentration. This map looks a little bit different than it usually does. Usually there's some smaller concentrated areas of red spread out in different areas, but in January we saw quite a bit of accidents up there in the northwest quadrant of the division. Look a little bit different. Once a week I show a map like this at our weekly management meeting, and that map is then used by the superintendent to decide whether he wants to enforce traffic in the upcoming weeks. This map is another traffic map. This map here shows enforcement versus collisions. So the black little crosses are where tickets or warnings have been given out, and then the heat overlay is that of the collisions. So as you can see in the previous map, the superintendent will pick an area to enforce in the week based on the heat overlay, and then direct the officers to concentrate in certain areas. As you see, we try to hit those heat marks on the map.
So this week we're going to be looking at Eglinton, Markham over to the border, and we're looking at particularly distracted driving. So leave your cell phones away, and speeding, general enforcement in that area, just because that's where the concentration of collisions have been. So we are looking at increasing community safety. One of the worst things that we are seeing in driving today is the cell phone use. It's much more hazardous even than drinking and driving. So people think that they're very responsible citizens driving around. They don't drink. They don't get into behind the wheel with alcohol in their system. But they have no compunction about picking up their cell phone or glancing at their cell phone, or sometimes even responding to a text. That we're seeing the deaths associated to that greater than impairs.
That's our first crime map. This map here shows the break-in entries in the division for the month of January. The dots are colored just by the different zones. As you see, break-in entries for quite an extended period of time. We haven't had too many. January was quite similar to December. One thing that we did see, you won't see on these dots, but a reminder is this week we had a couple break-in entries at some of our apartment buildings. We haven't really been affected by it yet, but in 42 division, the division just north of us, for the year they've had quite a few of those. So we're hoping it doesn't creep down here. As a reminder for those of you that do live in apartments, I know it might be uncomfortable, but when you're walking in, if someone tries to come in behind you or people trying to get in, just remind them that they need to either use their key or buzz in. And just don't let people randomly come into your apartment buildings, because that's how many people get in. Okay. Next map will be robberies. In January, we had 26 robberies, the same as December. You'll see on one of the next slides that's up a little bit for this time of year for what we're used to. But as I've said in the previous meetings, we are having more street robberies than we like to see right now. So be careful with what you're doing. Be careful with your surroundings when you're out there. If you have your cell phones out, that seems to become a larger target than it has been in the past.
The one thing is we've made significant arrests on the robberies this week alone. I think we had 6 robberies, and other cases we made arrest, something to that effect. Following the arrest are one thing, and major crime officers as well as uniform officers are doing their part. However, we always ask the community to kind of be aware of your surroundings, like Adam's alluded to. Street robberies still continue to be an issue, and that's you're using your cell phone, you're distracted, and it takes all of maybe 3 seconds to become a victim. So just be aware of your surroundings. Okay?
Moving on to the specs map, here's theft of autos. And this map, like the Great Barrier map, for the past over a year now, has been going down. As you can see, there's not that many dots when you see this map. Theft of autos hasn't really been a large concern for us here at 43 Division, except for about a year now. We're having, they're just very random, sporadic, no significant series, no significant threat. One thing that we have seen in the December, January is we have had 4 or 5 cars stolen when we're warming up. I mentioned this at a previous meeting, so if you're going to warm your car up, if you try and have an auto starter on it, so your key's not in it, or make sure you keep an eye on it. If see if it's cold out, you don't want to come out and see your car gone. And then here is our 7 major crime indicators. These are 7 major crime indicators as selected by Stats Canada, which they decide best reflects what's going on in the community. And we report these to you. From previous meetings, I've changed this up a little bit. I got 2 years of information on there instead of just comparing 1 year to another year. Gives you a little bit of a bigger picture. As you go down here, you can see, just remember at the start of the year, these numbers are small. When you're dealing with small numbers, they reflect into large percentage numbers. So right now, it's better to kind of just look at the numbers than the percentages, because those will balance out as the year goes along. As you can see, sexual assaults 11 this year compared to 8 last year, pretty close. Our assaults are down, which is nice to see because they were up pretty high last year. The one line you're saying robberies, you see 34 this year compared to 16. That might seem drastic, but it's not a huge concern yet. And we've seen the previous year there's 40, so we're still down 6. We've been having lots of success with our robberies. Like I said, in January there was 26 robberies, but of those 26 robberies, we arrested 21 people in relation to 11 of the cases. So we are making a lot of arrests. And like the staff said, this week we had 6 robberies. Again, more than we'd like to see, but we made arrests in relation to 5 of them. So we are having quite a bit of success in making arrests in relation to the robberies. Yes, we want them to go down. But like I said, right now, see how the year plays out. It's not. It may seem drastic to see the 112, but numbers-wise, you can still see we're lower. And as you've heard me say in previous, we have reduced robberies 5 years in a row now. So to continually keep up with that, eventually there's going to be a couple bumps in the road. And then moving down to break and enters. Again, we're reducing break and enters. We've been reducing those for quite some time now, and that's still going down, which is fantastic. But we wanted our community members to be vigilant. Call in if you see something suspicious in your neighborhood. Like I said, if you live in an apartment, don't just let anybody come in through the front vestibule there, challenge them or ask them to buzz up. And then moving down a little more, we got auto thefts still going down, 11 compared to 19, almost becoming non-existent, which is nice. And theft overs, this is a pretty small statistic all the time, so we have 8 of those so far this year. Usually I have a little tip. My one little tip here for this year, or for this month, is this. One thing we have seen since the New Year's in 2 of our malls, we've seen some distraction thefts. Normally we talk about this quite a bit. People getting their necklaces or their rings stolen off the street or whatever, but what we're seeing now is we've had 2 cases at our malls where people have been distracted by someone in the mall and someone has taken their wallet out of the purse. It's only happened twice, but just remind people when they're out in our public spaces and our malls that if something happens, someone comes up to you, talks to you for no reason whatsoever, just to be aware of your property and your surroundings.
That's a really good tip from Adam about those distraction thefts. Ideally, we'd like to see none of them. However, we do have groups that move into not just 43 Division, but into the city. They're transient. They don't necessarily stay here for longer than a few months, but in that amount of time, they can really victimize a lot of people. And they usually work, and I'll say usually, that's fairly accurate, in groups of 2 or 3, because again, the whole idea is to take, for example, Marilyn, take you away from your attention to your purse by engaging in a conversation or letting you know that your tire is flat on your car. Meanwhile, there's another person part of that group that's stealing your purse from your car, things like that. So there's good Samaritans out there. There's lots of good community members that are looking actually to help you. But just be aware of especially your valuables when they're engaging with you. They're very good at what they do. It goes back to, I know we're in the winter, we're all bundled up. We have similar thefts where people are wearing their jewelry outside and it's very visible, gold jewelry. They can get the necklace or the watch off you and you're not even aware that they're doing it because they're engaging you in conversation or somebody else is distracting you. So it's just a matter of being aware of, where you are and where your valuables are, okay? Thanks, Adam, I appreciate that.
Thank you, Adam. And the print's a lot easier to read today than it is on the website.
Looks good in suit too.
He does. He looks very Okay, community activities and concerns, everybody.
Perfect. This is where we take the opportunity, and we have a full room today, which we love seeing, right? We absolutely love seeing that. And this is where we take the opportunity to open up the floor to the community members. Usually I start out by speaking to anything that was brought up at the last meeting. I wasn't at the last meeting, but luckily we had some people that were, and actually one of our CPLC members brought up a concern. She had seen possibly some suspicious activity on her address at Golden Boulevard in Adler Street, or at least her neighborhood, I should say. So we created a community complaint, and basically both halves of the team that worked for me, the crew and the neighborhood safety unit, spent some time there, both in uniform, patrols, as well as plainclothes, making some observations. The good news is we haven't seen anything. So maybe it was just a one-off, but we did do a bunch of patrols in the neighborhood and really didn't come across anything. But that's not to say that we don't appreciate that kind of information. I have to tell you, and we say this a lot at these meetings, and especially with a great big one like this, we pass along this sort of information to you, and the whole idea is so you can be our eyes and ears out there. And we don't, when we get a full room like this, we're like, oh, it might drag on a little bit. But ultimately, when people step up and let us know about whether it's possible crimes that are being committed or suspicious activity or speeding, traffic enforcement issues, it makes us aware of it so that we can focus our resources, our enforcement initiatives in that area. So don't hesitate. If you have something to bring up, absolutely bring it up. But I will also say this, if it's something very, very serious, don't wait till the second Thursday of every month to report it. If you see it and it's happening right in front of you, you either have 911 if it's an emergency or our 808-2222 that you can report it. Because ideally, we'd like to catch them in the act. And we're not necessarily going to do that if you're waiting till the second Thursday of every month to report it. Okay? So that's the response on the concern that we had from last January's meeting. So we'll open it up. If there's anybody from the community that has anything to bring to our attention, we can address it.
Guess everybody's been good.
That's a first.
Oh, not
If I could just acknowledge all of the efforts that were put into actual play. I commented on a concern that was happening in our area. Here, a SUV that was going through the area speeding. And efforts that were brought up and through strong partnerships here, you acted on it and the guy's gone. So whatever you did,
I'll tell you later.
I just wanted to mention it, that it does work, and it just to certainly punctuate how partnership works. And so,
yeah, and that's a unique situation where James has seen on numerous occasions the guy basically driving very erratically at higher than speed. And unfortunately, I had to put the onus on James to help me get a plate number. Once we got that, we were able to take care of it. And I'm glad that it's been solved. I appreciate it. Okay. Thank you.
thank you.
I just want to reiterate that, so with the Lorry Collision, once again, after media, peaceful and quiet, and we're feeling good.
Good.
We like hearing that too.
Thank you, Pat.
That's fantastic. And yeah, I got to tell you, a lot of work, not just, it's more the school resource officers and our officers that work, in the schools. The crews down there once in a while, but the day shift officers do a fantastic job. Thank you very much, Pat. Appreciate that. Anybody else have any concerns?
I have some concerns about Quick Press Plaza and County Kingston Road. There's still a lot of vehicles parking in the fire route there. I'm not sure if it's parking enforcement or you guys that should go and figure out these guys. Sometimes it's pain to get through. Because of the construction and LCPO, there's not really a lot of room and people parking there makes it so that only one car can get through.
So that's the Cliff Crest Plaza?
Cliff Crest Plaza and County Kingston.
Yeah, and I know there's a lot of construction going on there right now, right? So that condenses down the available parking. Ideally, that is a traffic or a parking enforcement problem. The situation being that it's on private property, I'll see if my crew officers can spend a little extra time patrolling there. It's one of those, you have to catch them in the act sort of thing to ticket them, but I'll bring it to their attention and we'll pay attention to it.
The other thing is, the crossing guard at also county system. What I've noticed is that when the hand is flashing and there's like 10 seconds, it's actually allowing people to cross, which is making it difficult to make a turn. And obviously, you know, there's not a lot of time for the pedestrians to finish crossing the road, so it's kind of a safety concern for the pedestrians. So I don't know, again, if that's something you guys would address.
The crossing guard, and what was this, the intersection that the crossing
They
guards
have a
control?
case that it's typically in the mornings, but I've noticed it, like right around between 8:30 and 9:30, right before after school, when there's a crossing guard on duty there. I mean, I guess he's there for the students that actually have to cross out of going to St. Agatha or going to Halbert, but like I've noticed on more than one occasion, he's actually coming out after the countdown is on to stop walking, he's actually come out and, you know, like even when I'm in the middle of my turn, sometimes John's there, and I'm like,
I'm just trying to get an accurate picture of what it is that you're concerned about.
well, because apparently, I mean, I saw a whole campaign on TV about this, about how pedestrians are not supposed to start crossing when there's 10 seconds left. If the hand is flashing or whatever, it says 10 seconds, you're supposed to stop and wait for the next, you know, the next time the light is green. But what's happening is, you know, the hand's flashing, there's 10 or 15 seconds left, there's 6 lanes to cross. The crossing guard will actually come out, instead of stopping and saying you have to wait for the next light, he's actually which is impeding, you know, traffic. But it's also, I mean, you know what, like, you never know, it's kind of a sharp turn.
Yeah, I am really, yeah.
So if you're halfway through your turn, the no walk signal is up, and there you is right in front of your car, right?
Okay.
So it's, you know.
Fortunately, the crossing guard coordinator for basically the entire east end of the city works here at 43. So I'll bring it to Constable Fagan's attention and she can.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that there's 10 seconds left and you're crossing 6 lanes, not exactly safe, right? I'm using 10 seconds as an example, but
Sure.
yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I think I see a hand over here.
I would just say, yeah, I guess I could sort of add on to, yeah, I agree with her, but I've seen it as a student all the time, like, not in just that year, but a lot of years where like, within the 10-second frame, there's a lot of cars coming and people are still walking, and that creates like a huge problem where there's cars trying to go as fast as they can to get before the red light goes, and then there's people like walking, and I mean, I don't think I've ever had to happen. I mean, it's happened, but it can happen, and I've seen, I feel mistaken tonight, otherwise it's stuff like that happens, so, yeah, just wanted to ask for it.
I think one of the things that the superintendent uses frequently, and as is pointed out, that's specifically where it's controlled by a crossing guard. You should know better. I agree. We'll, like I say, we'll address that. But I think the superintendent speaks quite frequently about civic responsibility. And again, I wish we had a police officer for every intersection to tell those pedestrians to stop crossing. Unfortunately, we don't. Like our police foundation students, people like yourself, raise that awareness among your friends in that, because ultimately we can't be everywhere to enforce that. All I can do is implore upon you to maybe share that insight with your friends and your community members, so that they do, like you said, when you see the hand stopping you, they actually do, so the cars have the right of way as well, right? Thank you, I appreciate that. Is there anybody else? Okay, well, I appreciate those points. What we do is I will talk to, again, Brenda Fagan regarding our crossing guard, and we'll take a look at the fire route or fire zone parking at Cliff Crest Plaza, and we'll report back next month when we reconvene on the second Thursday of March. Okay? Thank you very much.
Well, they're
Appreciate
not
that.
on summer break.
March break?
Great. Randy, can you engage her?
Yeah.
Don't really have a whole lot. Seems like every month I try to come up here and plan as much as I can for this, and I feel bad because there's usually so much going on that I leave a lot of it out, which means some people are feeling left out. And I rush through it too quick. So I just have a quick presentation. Quick presentation that's Angela Brackett can hopefully come up here and help the others. She's one of the people who feel left out all the time because I forget something, so it's easier just to get her up here. Come on
She's a
down.
good speaker. She'll
Yeah,
have with you.
absolutely. She enjoys watching the Price is Right. Come on down. And I just want to say, it's really nice to see so many people here, so many students. Just want to say, Ramina, thank you again from the outside side of Toronto. Trina, thank you very much. A lot of these friends and contacts are from social media. Ali, you've known me for a few years now. Thank you for finally coming. Another future police officer. Angela with your students, both attending college and university as well. Fantastic. Weasley, thank you very much. Hoda Bill, thank you very much for coming as well. Really appreciate that. And all the students from Centennial College Police Foundations. Before I get into the quick little presentation I'm going to do, I just want to mention something. While Adam LeBlanc was talking, I had Instagram video going, and that's something new that we just started trying out. So when we first started setting up the live stream that we wanted to do a 43 Division CPLC meeting, that was all done through Google+. And that got very complicated after a while, and we pretty much had to end it and just make it available to everybody on YouTube and on Twitter. We would upload the link to Twitter. That was going good, but then even that kind of died down by the wayside. So we have Periscope, we got Facebook video, we have Twitter video now. There's all kinds of different habits that didn't even exist 6 months ago. So especially 2-3 years ago when we started doing our live stream. So we tried Instagram video today. And while I was sitting down, while Adam LeBlanc got up, his presentation, these numbers cannot be fudged at all because they're all here. We had 275 viewers watch what Adam is doing. That was through Instagram video. So we had 275 viewers live watching his presentation. It's really nice that we could fill up this room, but it's also fantastic that we have 275 people that were watching this. And we tried this a couple of days ago, and that was unannounced, by the way. So this was just kind of last minute. PC Pappy and I did an Instagram live video a couple of days ago. We were sitting in the room, we were setting up, and we just started. And we had 780 viewers. Again, these numbers are all lodged online. They can't be found. We had 780 viewers in half an hour, and they answered. He was mostly happy. He answered questions about traffic enforcement. It was policing. Got involved with that. Zuho did Instagram live video just a couple of weeks ago. That again wasn't planned, and I had Wi-Fi here, so I logged on, and I was able to talk to the class and give your instructor. So this is a whole new way of being able to connect with people that again didn't exist, and it's working. It's fantastic. It's doing max. Thank you for coming, all the students. But we're going to try to do a couple things where myself or somebody else will actually go to college, go to the university, and we'll run some meetings from there. Even the schools, we tried to, when we first started, we want to get the meetings happening at the schools, but it's really hard because of the time, 2:15. So it's just really nice that we're able to take it home. And I'm rambling on about that. So thank you very much. And I'm going to get on to a quick little something that I have. So just not too long ago, last week, for the first time ever, we had the K9 unit attend Montreal Safe Walk. And you know, I'll let you talk about this. We had K9 attend Montreal Safe Walk. We all know it's a fantastic program. We all know that people are trying to mimic this, not just in the city, but right across the country. They're looking at our success, not the police success, the success of the community, because the community are to make this a success. But just to even, you know, kind of take it up a little notch, we want to have other officers attend, which they have attended. PC Kevin Zowski, we were partners years ago, 41 Division, he's in the K9 now, so he came along. And we got about 10 photos, so if you want to talk. And then we'll get into more all-stars after. So even a week later, a lot of the students and parents and people who are just walking by that aren't even part of the program, who are stopping and taking photos, are still talking about this. And they're calling it the best safe walk ever. You throw an animal into the mix, and it's a success. That's all there is to it. But it was absolutely fantastic.
We're really excited about having it there. And like Randy said, the parents are still talking about it. And we're hoping that we'll come back soon. And even what I find, there are kids there that just going through a little bit of things, and just the way that they just gravitated to the dog was just really amazing. I felt like they were a part of it. There's this one little guy, I think he was the first one, like he didn't want anybody else. He didn't want anybody else to touch the dog. We're like, it's not your dog. Like, we have to say, give other people a chance. He just loved that dog so much. I think he he wanted to take it home. So we're hoping he'll come back. It was really amazing and we really enjoyed it. My parents are still talking about it. And the word is that this is the best safe walk ever. Bestest, although there's no such word as bestest.
So thank you, Randy, for bringing it up.
No, I think this is,
It's Scarborough slang.
Yeah,
if you use it, it's a word.
Eat your salmon.
Thanks for dropping by.
Some for the guests.
And so I hope these slides are more else.
So last time we were here, we talked about the new partnership that we were endeavoring on, and we finally managed to partner with Second Chance. So within the community now, we're opening the hub, and we're there 4 days a week from Monday to Thursday, from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And we have all sort of things there going. We have a lawyer that will come in and talk to people that need help. We also have psychologists that will come in and help anyone that's in need of help. We have housing. We have team safety. There's so we have a lot of things to do, but we're excited that we're up there. We're doing some great things, and we have people dropping in already. We've been having, since we started, we have about 4 or 5 clients that are in, and we have not yet advertised it, so we're excited about moving forward and the work that we're going to be doing in there now.
Fantastic. Any questions regarding that at all?
So I want to say, if you know anyone that is in need of any help, housing, if they just came out of jail and they're trying to get back within the community, finding a job, and with these, they're with them for 1 full year. So they work with them for 1 full year. All the programs are free. You don't have to pay for anything, and we give that support to make sure that they're able to reach their potential and achieve their goals.
Fantastic.
You asked about the TPS app. There's been questions about the Toronto Police app, which is a free download to iOS and Android. It's really kind of gone by the wayside. I brought it up with the Transformational Task Force, and apparently that's one of the things that is going to be brought back up, because it's kind of embarrassing. You're on telling me we download the app, but the app's it's kind of it's not a lot of information. They are downloading the app because it's a fantastic resource. And that's it. Anything else that we do regarding our courses, online, adults, seniors, students, doesn't matter, they can all be found online. So I apologize for rushing through this.
I forgot to mention that our documentary will be coming out soon, so keep an eye on Randy's Twitter and Instagram. They'll be doing a blast to tell you when it's going to be coming out. So they sent me an email. So they're going to be blasting it before they put it out.
That's CBC, and that's right across Canada. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Randy.
Okay. Anybody else have anything to say? But then we'll go to, we got Paul, PC Rowe.
Yeah, nothing for today.
Campbell.
Hello, and great to see a full room, and we'll punish you with something next time.
Great, thank you, thank you. So,
Okay, that's going to close our open part of our meeting. So we'll take a 5-minute break and allow people to mingle and say their hellos. So 5 minutes from now, we'll reconvene for the committee portion of the meeting. Thank you for attending. Good to
Thank
see
you very
all.
much for